Okay, so Thurman is probably one of the most talented guys in the division.
Nasty boxer.
He can fight and beat anybody in the division. We know this.
Loves to brawl too, which I love.
But at the same time, his lack of being in the ring and being active made him look vulnerable in his last fight. He got clipped a couple times. He didn't get dropped, but he got clipped. And, almost
showed a chin.
He did show a chin, but can that chin hold up to that crazy, stupid power that Pacquiao's known to have?
Yeah, the power that he's been making fun of, the power that he's been disrespecting, the power that concerns me.
Yeah, I mean,
speed kills, bro. And that man is fast.
Yeah, it's more than his hand speed. It's his foot speed, and I'm talking about Pacquiao now. I think Pacquiao has some of the most ridiculous, unorthodox footwork ever. Hops in, hops out. While he's hopping out at a different angle that he came in at. It's almost impossible to predict where he's going to land next. He's literally like a little Filipino bouncing beam, bro.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't know, bro. My pick will remain the same.
No. Oh yeah.
I want Thurman to win this fight. If there's anybody that I want for him to end Pacquiao's career in a good way, not in a bad way, not end it like, oh, he's done. Just end it like, hey, I've had my run. I can't compete with these young guys anymore, and
right off into the sunset.
Yeah, like a true champ. But if Thurman loses, bro, for some reason I feel like I would be okay with it.
Yeah, at this point,
because he needs to prove himself. Honestly, at this point, if he truly is a champ,
I think this is something that I think I've only heard very few people talk about. Right? If let's say Thurman does lose, but what if Pacquiao wins in devastating fashion?
Like a knockout, or just by like
a stoppage.
Like,
let's say TKO stoppage, knockout, mid to late rounds. I don't think he's gonna take him out early. I think it was gonna take him a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Let's say he does do that, right? Where does this put Pacquiao's legacy? Because now at this point, Pacquiao would have fought in 3 different generation of fighters, right, in 8 different weight classes, and dominated and has been in the top echelon of fighters for over a decade.
I mean, that
does that make him surpass Mayweather? I mean, yeah, Mayweather's undefeated, but
he's not fighting. Mayweather is,
and it's no disrespect to Mayweather at all. It's not.
I'm gonna break this down to you in this fashion right here. Okay, this is the only way that I can think of.
I think it makes him a legendary status. Like he's already one of the best fighters of all time.
Mayweather is the guy that goes to Vegas, and he has Lady Luck on his side, and also he is extremely intelligent. And then he cashes out instead of keep putting his money in case something crazy happens.
Yeah.
That's Mayweather. Pacquiao is the guy that risks it. He's a gambling addict, and he spends the money, and he freaking keeps winning. And the only way for him to stop is he's gonna have to lose it all.
But we saw him lose it all.
Not really.
So getting put to sleep on Marquez isn't
bro,
losing
that was
it all?
1 out of 4 fights. Who has whose number on that one? Who has the last number is another conversation. Who had the last laugh is another conversation. However,
so winning 3 decisions versus losing 1 knockout. I think the knockout wins. Bro.
He's knocked out Juanma too.
He hasn't knocked him out.
Yes, he has.
No, it was 3 decisions.
Bro, he's put that ninja to sleep, guaranteed.
Dude, he knocked him down. He didn't put him to sleep.
He put Juanma to sleep. I know one of the fights. I guarantee it. I can't remember. I know it wasn't the last one. Obviously, it was the third one or the first one.
Back to my original point. Does this make, assuming Pacquiao wins in a dominant or early stoppage against Thurman, where does this put him in an all-time? He's already one of the best fighters of our generation.
Pound for pound champ. He is one of the best of all time.
But winning against a guy like Thurman, who's a motherfucker. By the way, he's also young.
I mean, he's 30 years old.
I mean, compared to Paquiao, he's fucking young.
Right.
Right? He puts him, like... He wins another title. What does this do for him? Does this all of a sudden you're talking about him in the same light as, you know, Jake LaMotta and all these legendary champs in the lighter weight classes?
We mentioned a certain boxer earlier, Julio Cesar Chavez. I think that'll put him up there, not in the amount of 100,000 fights, but
in the same conversation.
In the same conversation as far as age, somebody that has...
Durant, same thing. He fought such a long time, so many different weight classes, 12, 13 titles.
A chin.
You know, and to me, like, Pacquiao's not supposed to win this fight. On paper, he's not supposed to win this fight.
Actually, he's the favorite. He's plus 152.
Let's be real. Okay, yeah, that's bullshit just because fucking the Filipinos are voting for. The odds are stupid. The Vegas odds are stupid because it's all about who's betting on who. I'm talking about smart money. You look at it, it's like, he's not supposed to win this fight.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not. Like, you look at it and you're like, yeah, no, he's old. He's past his prime. He's still a great fighter, but he should be thinking about hanging it up. But all of a sudden, you're looking at him again and you're like, but if he wins...
I mean, he looks the same he's been looking for the past 10 years, bro. Well, physically.
Physically, yeah.
He didn't lose a step, he lost half a step. You can see
But a half a step in the echelon where he's at, that's form. That's.
If you lose half a step fighting Keith Thurman, that's not very good.
But let's say he gets past Keith Thurman. That half a step will definitely show up against Errol Spence.
Oh, he will. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Paquiao.
But let's be real. But
Paquiao will probably get put to sleep worse.
No disrespect to Keith Thurman, man. Keith Thurman, dude, we're rooting for you. I believe he's going to win the fight. But let's say Paquiao gets past Thurman. His next fight, it's either Bo or Errol Spence Jr. And both those dudes are on another level.
You know what it is, bro? This is the thing about boxing. The guys want the big dollars, right?
Yeah.
Paquiao right now is the only one him and Canelo are the only ones that are making these younger guys that money. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Canelo's still young. I mean, he's just as old as Thurman, which is another scary part that we can talk about that later. He would probably wind up being the Julio Cesar Chavez of our generation. But anyway,
in another 10 years, yeah.
Right. But let's say if Paquiao loses. Will the ratings be the same for Errol Spence against Keith Thurman as it would be Errol Spence or Pacquiao? Will the same amount of purse be the same?
Let's be honest.
So that's what scares me also. Is like, okay, well, the boxing needs to continue. There needs to be money flowing. Will that happen if Pacquiao wins? Or if he loses? If Thurman wins and he goes on and fights the next person?
I think...
Is that good for boxing? For the ratings?
No. Not for the ratings. I mean, but we also have to think about it that we can't think about boxing versus pay-per-view numbers anymore. Because it's just not the same. It's not the same that it was 10 years ago.
You're right.
You know, you have to think about it as like, is it trending?
Contract, you got the zone, you got,
ESPN Plus, PBC, free fights. Right. It's just a different era. Like, kind of boxing and money making.
HBO, ordering it on the TV.
Yeah. You can't even do it anymore. HBO isn't even around anymore, which it's crazy to still think about. Yeah. But it's just, it's a different aspect of the entire game, and you're like, Paquiao is the last of his kind. He is the last he's the last of the Mohicans. And win, lose, or draw, it's an interesting development because I think about it from these three angles. Thurman wins. Thurman is the cash cow because he's the guy that was the last unified champion. He vacated to go get his stuff taken care of. Mm-hmm. So he's technically still the guy, right?
Yeah.
Now, if Thurman wins, he has a legend on his book, and now he has a choice of the top two heads in the division. And either fight for him, it's not easy. I don't think that him fighting Bo or him fighting Errol Spence.
When you say Bo, who's Bo?
Crawford.
Oh, I'm thinking Bo Reddick. I'm like, bro, he ain't boxing since like 1982. I got you.
No, so he fights either of those two. That's a fan fight for me. I want to see him fight either guy. But
you talking about Thurman fighting one of them? I want to see Thurman fight Errol Spence. I would.
Dude, I think freaking the guy that nobody's talking about.
Spence is
he's a fucking beast.
bro.
But tell me not.
Terrence Crawford.
He's
a silent assassin, bro.
He just show up. Beep, 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 beep.
I got no hands, bro. Jeez.
And he can fight southpaw and orthodox. Oh,
yeah, he's bad news, bro. I think, and you know, I was talking to one of my buddies at work, and he's from Detroit. You know, hardcore boxing background, in that city. So he watches boxing, and one of the things that he lost respect for Keith Thurman was that he said he feels like he was ducking Errol Spence and ducking Crawford to go straight to Paquiao because they've called him out. Huh? And the way that Thurman has, when I've seen the interviews, they've called out Thurman and the way he is. We gotta get with the managers, but he's talking a lot of trash for Paquiao though. But when these guys call him out, we'll see. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, where was that same energy at though? That's my point.
You're right. You have to understand, Keith Thurman ain't no Masvidal.
Well, he ain't no Mayweather.
But I think there's two parts of him. I think he's a very smart guy. I think that he knows that at the end of the day, he's already had his championships, and he's looking for the payday, and he knows that Paquiao is the payday.
Only one.
And I think if I was in Thurman's camp, I would probably play it the way he's playing it. It's fight the legend.
Financially, it makes sense, of course.
Fight the legend first, and you know that the bigger fights are going to be against the two dogs of the division. And that's, you make your money, you build your legacy almost, right? Uh-huh. That way, when you go to build a fight with a Crawford or with Errol Spence,
I beat the
motherfucker of the motherfuckers of the last generation. Yeah. Who's on your resume? It was like, I'm the A-side now.
Exactly, which ultimately gives him
leverage.
Right.
Which I think that's the long game he's playing. I don't think he's ducking anybody. It's just my opinion. I don't think he's ducking anybody. I think he's playing the 2-3 fights down the line game.
I guess what I'm saying is, if you look at all these guys that are champions, they have that McGregor, that Masvidal. They got that.
Those are fighters. They're not.
Yeah,
but champions.
Yeah, but okay. Let's talk about boxing. If you got Mayweather, right? I mean, he talked crap, bro. He was horrible at talking crap, but he didn't stop talking crap, even though he was trash at talking trash. He was really bad at talking trash. He was bad.
I mean,
look at my money. That was his comeback. Who got the money? And it was cool, but like he was back, but he never backed down. That's my point. Like champions don't back down. Canelo never backed down. Nobody, and he's that young in his career, and he's already. Which I get.
Again, to me,
playing chess.
He's playing 3D chess.
It's cool, but it's like,
I personally, I don't think it's a fear thing. I think it's a financial thing.
But you can still talk crap.
You can.
That's my point.
But I don't know.
Like, man, they scrubs, man. Y'all can catch it later. Something. Not, you need to talk to my manager first. Like, come on, man.
Dude, and then here's the thing: that people forget that there's still a couple of the guys in the division that are on the rebound. I don't think they're done yet, but we have the Danny Garcias and the other guys. I don't know if he can compete, but he's coming off a win. He's supposed to be fighting before the end of the year one more time. So
say less. All I know is that the future of boxing is bright, especially for real boxing fans.
Yeah,
not for casual people. And you probably say, well, Terrence Crawford versus Keith Thurman. You're probably like, who? But for real fight fans, you know who these guys are, and you're very excited for that.
So.
Bro.
There's one more, not a fight card, but it's another fight coming up this weekend.
I'm sorry.
There's one more fight card coming up this weekend.
Fight card?
Yeah, your boys, Mr. 209 Nate Diaz.
Oh shoot!
And Showtime Pettis.
Damn, bro.
They's about to scrap.
I be forgetting. Yeah, bro. So first of all, everybody knows who Nate Diaz is.
Right? If you don't know who Nate Diaz is, I'm not.
Or his brother, if you don't know who they are.
Nick, yeah. Where you been?
Yeah.
Where you been?
Past 10, 15 years. These guys, hands.
Bro.
Brawlers.
Joe.
They love blood. They love the fight. Pettis just won. Well, I'm not going to say Pettis just won. The fight that involved Pettis with Tony Ferguson just won on the ESPYs last weekend. Fight of the year. Not everybody that fights Tony Ferguson has fight of the year. They usually get their butts whooped, which Tony Pettis did not get his butt whooped. But he did lose.
He lost via stoppage because of a cut.
Right.
So